Welcome
to the joy of coding.
Hello, and welcome to episode 255 of The Joy of Coding. My name's Mike Conley. It's so good to have you here. We're going to be live hacking on Firefox stuff. Let's get started. Why delay? I've got my my high quality wide diaphragm condenser microphone working again. Just required yet another driver reinstall with system integrity protection disabled on Mac OS, but we're working again, so you get these nice quality microphone sounds. So that's a plus. Let me switch to my screen here. It's so good to see everyone. So today is July 14th, 2021. It's episode 255. Hey, that's a special number in computer world. That's the highest numeric value that you can represent with an unsigned like a byte. 255. You go from 0 to 255, which is 256 values. Hey, I just did some nerding in front of you. So hey, there you go, episode 255. It's a special number. A reminder, no plan survives breakfast. I don't know really how the stream's gonna go. Might be a disaster, it might be incredible. Who knows what we'll get done today. I'm trying to capture software development in the raw, which means things might go wrong, I might get distracted, I might get sidetracked, and that's okay. That's the name of the game. The second thing is that the agenda that we're looking at, this handy-dandy agenda, is something that is available to you if you want to click on links, and as I update it, you might want to like click on links, etc. And in order to get it, there's a link. So if you are watching this on YouTube, check out the video description for a link. If you're watching this on Air Mozilla, it will be in the details part of this video playback system. And if you're watching this on Twitch, then there is a link that I'm about to drop into the Twitch chat. Episode 255, this one. So let me just drop that into the Twitch chat. Agenda. Booyah. There it is. That's the first thing. The second thing is that there is an episode guide, a completely viewer-driven episode guide. You should check it out. If you're watching this in the future and you wanted to know what happened during this episode, the episode guide is very handy, and you can find a link to it in the agenda. And if for example, you have your own notes or addenda or corrections, or you want to expand upon something I wrote about, send me a pull request. The entire episode guide is hosted on GitHub. Send me a pull request. I will happily merge stuff in. Again, it's completely viewer-driven, and so whatever is useful to you, the viewers, is what I want to put in the episode guide. So send it my way. If you're not sure what I mean by a pull request or GitHub or repository, there's a contributing guide here. And there's a guide that Smurf D, who's one of our prolific contributors to the episode guide, used and recommends. So hopefully that is helpful. What are we doing today? Well, the first thing I'm doing today is I'm opening up a bottle of antioxidant infusion by coconut water. This came as part of a some kind of... So we have a meal kit service here where I live, and I'm a subscriber. I get like... We get one like once a month, and sometimes it comes with free stuff. And this one came with this drink that I have no idea what this is. It's not just water because there's sugar in it. It's got naturally sourced sweeteners. I presume that means sugar. And I'm not even a big fan of coconut, but I didn't want this to go to waste. I didn't want to just throw it out. So I thought I would drink it on camera, and you will also get a sense of whether or not it has an impact on my abilities to do my job. Again, not a big fan of coconut, but you're going to get... This is going to be a live reaction to strange coconut water I got in the mail, as well as a joy of coding. So let me just open this up, and then we can get started. Well, first of all, let me give it a sniff. Smells like hand cream. So if growing up, my dad always used like coconut scented hand cream. I associate coconut with hand cream, unfortunately. But I'm gonna take a sip. Tastes like sweet coconut. It's not poisonous, non-toxic, I presume. It's not incredible, but that's because I'm not the hugest fan of coconut. But I didn't want it to go to waste, so there we go. What are we doing today? I've been wasting time. What are we doing today? Well, there are a number of bugs that are related to various things that have happened in the retheme. The recent retheme which was codenamed Proton, but I don't think that was used in any of the like press or anything. But the Proton retheme effort, there was a big push, and we had to take some things out of scope because it's just like they weren't important enough. We had other more important things to do, and now we're trying to clean up some of that stuff. And so some of these bugs I'm looking at are either fallout from some of the changes, maybe mistakes that got made in some of the retheming, and they're kind of edge casey, but we want to get them fixed. And some of them are things that we wished we could have had done, but we just didn't have time. And some of them are, well, we were doing it the wrong way. We shipped it the wrong way so that we could ship it quickly, and now we want to pay down the technical debt by doing it correctly. That sort of thing. I shouldn't say wrong way. It's like we did it the quick and fast way in order to ship on time, and now we're paying down the technical debt that we accrued. One of the things that shipped recently, we were messing with this last week, was the clear recent history dialogue. This should in Nightly now be one of the dialogues that's now in the Proton style, and works very well, and it doesn't have that resize problem because of the patch that I wrote for it. And if you're curious about what those patches ended up being from last episode, you can check those out here. So let me actually drop that into the agenda so that you can see. If you're curious, if you had watched the previous episode, you can check it out. Like last episode update. So this landed. Check out the follow-up. There are 3 patches. Check out the second and third patches in the series to get a sense of what got fixed. And ultimately, I can actually just show you right now what it was. Is we've discovered this Moz subdialogue ready thing, which is a way where dialogues can defer the actual display of the dialogue until some setup is done. And that's sometimes necessary if excuse me, the dialogue needs to set up some parts of its layout dynamically with script. Because when we fire Moz subdialogue ready, the dialogue code takes a measurement of the dialogue and uses that as its baseline for how big the little rectangle is supposed to be. And we only want to do that whenever the subdialogue is ready to be measured. And so what I ended up doing was, first of all, I cleaned up this function, this initialization function inside of this particular dialogue by making it async, so that we didn't have to chain promises together. I do not like chaining the thens. I'm not a big fan. And then I created this Moz subdialogue ready that we make sure to run, because that was the problem last week, was that Moz subdialogue ready was sometimes not running on time. It would be set too late so that the subdialogue code would go, is there a subdialogue ready, Moz subdialogue ready property? Nope. And then it would just keep going. Now we make sure that it's always available. And this does chaining, but it's because this is a one-time only function, and it was nice and sort of terse. All right. Well, that's last week's efforts, and that landed. If you see any bugs with the clear recent history dialogue, let me know. What are we working on today? Well, the first thing that I was hoping we could look at is a follow-on to... This is actually closed now. I can mark this as closed. Closed. There is... Oh, and this is closed too. I guess there was a bunch of stuff that... I guess I have some cleanup to do in here. But one of the things I wanted to look at today was this one. I actually have a patch for this that I wrote a month or so ago, but it didn't end up landing because there was a dependency that we were waiting to land. Let me see if I can sort of demonstrate, because this is a Windows only thing. So let me boot up my Windows 7 VM and I'll show you the bug. But basically, it has to do with the Bookmarks toolbar. So if you're running Firefox Nightly and you use the Bookmarks toolbar, one thing you might notice if you're running a recent Nightly is that the Bookmarks toolbar, hang on, is this one might need to update. Let's update it first, and we'll shut this one down. Okay, If you are using the bookmarks toolbar and you add a folder, my folder, etc., now this folder uses like the new style, like the new menu style. So it kind of matches the styles that we've got going on over here. And that took a while to get done for a variety of reasons. It's more challenging than we thought it was initially, but it's done now. And this was blocking a problem, or blocking this particular patch, where if you have a folder that has a folder in it, so for example, I can create a folder in here, add folder, subfolder. Oh, whoops, I meant to put that inside of there. And I think, what's the best way of reproducing this? If I create like a, can I rename this? No. Edit bookmark, yeah, I'm gonna rename it to like, this is a long string, so it's going to stretch out the menu. I think we need to do that. Oh, you know, it's possible that we don't need this patch anymore. It's possible that the patch I wrote is now no longer necessary. This was 2 months ago in the bookmarks toolbar. Oh, we needed it as well inside the bookmarks toolbar. Hang on. Bookmarks menu. Oh, right. Sorry. It has nothing to do. It has nothing to do with this. It has everything to do. I'm sorry. It has everything to do with this menu, the bookmarks menu, this thing. Interesting. So like this has been, these look actually okay now. Because yeah, originally they were pushed over too much. And I wonder if I created a folder, let's do some exploration here. Let's create a folder called bookmarks menu. We're gonna create a folder in here. This is a folder with a very long name. Yeah, it seems okay. How about even longer? This is an even longer name. Yeah, that seems okay. You know what? I think we're okay here. Now, one thing that I'm noticing is not okay is look at this label is offset by a little bit. So this is not related, but I'm just noticing it now that the manage bookmarks is offset. So here's what I'm going to do, I think. I'm going to say, I actually think, oh, maybe this is only on Windows 10 that this is a problem. Shoot. Sorry, folks. I need to boot up my Windows 10 PC. I'm wasting everyone's time because I forgot how this bug worked. Sorry about that. Let me, no, I actually do want to do that, but later. Let me launch my test profile. Scooby-doop. Hand cream. Make sure it's up to date. Oh wait, this was built July 5th. That's not new enough. Let's pull from Central. Do I have anything on the stack? I guess while I'm doing that, I can complete my VMware Workstation update. Updates. I don't want to join the customer experience program. Go ahead. Sure. Upgrade. Wow. Okay, so no diffs, no difference. And now I'm gonna pull from central and update to tip. Meanwhile, VMware is doing its thing. Unrelated. What I'm going to do is, because this is a front-end only issue with the bookmarks menu, I'm not going to do a full build. I'm going to do an artifact build, which will be much faster. So we can figure out whether or not we still need this patch. Because, like, I suspect we might still need this patch. And what is this dialogue doing all the way over here? What is going on? Why did this show up over here? How do I move this? Ah! Well, that is bizarre. How do I... Come on. Do I want it? Yes. Yes, I do. Oh. It's already running. I think that just says finish. I don't know why it showed up over here, though. That's bizarre. What if I do this and bring it all back? No? No, it hates it. Okay, well, I'm going to say finish. Hopefully, I don't want to restart. No, thank you. Anyways, that was a distraction. But that's the joy of coding. Things will just get thrown at you. On Stable and Mac, the M in Manage Bookmarks is aligned with the folders. So I wonder if it's only in Windows 7 that there's like misalignment here. That could be. That could be. Also, notice that the open all in tabs is misaligned. It's like all of the footers are misaligned. So we'll take a look at that in a sec. Meanwhile, let's get this artifact build done. Okay. I told it to do an artifact build, right? Did I? Oh, shoot. No, I told it to do a normal build. Yikes. This is gonna... Oh, no. No, it's doing an artifact build. Okay, we're okay. I thought it was about to do a full-blown build, and that would have taken way too long. So now it's downloading the various bits and pieces of the browser that I don't need to compile. It's downloading it from task clusters. So other machines have already done the compilation. I don't have to worry about it. That's very nice. Perhaps while we're waiting for this build to complete, are there any questions in the audience? Any questions out there on the internet that I could try and field? Go ahead and just dump them in the Twitch chat or the Matrix channel. It's the same thing. I'll see them both. Go ahead and let me know. Scooby-Doo. Nightly on Mac has the M aligned as well. Okay, well that's good. So on Mac OS, we're okay. We have to look at Windows though. Windows is where, if you look at the public data here, you can see that like Windows is our like the dominant where is it, usage behavior, or is this like hardware, proceed to hardware, is the dominant operating system for our users. Let's see here, operating system. Windows 10 dominates at like 62%, and that's followed by Windows 7, which is 20%, followed by Windows 8, which is at 4%, and then you get into Mac OS, and Linux is somewhere in here as well. So like sum those up, 62 plus 20 is 82 plus 4, 86. So like you're talking like almost 90% of our users are on Windows, which is remarkable. What's also interesting is that like the number, you can see over time since 2019, the number of people running 64-bit versions of the browser has been going up, and 32-bit's been going down. It's been flattening out, which is kind of interesting. Like it seems pretty stable. It was dropping like a percentage point or two per month, maybe half a percentage point to 1% a month, and then it right around April, it started to flatten out, and there hasn't been a whole lot going on in terms of the number of bits. All right. So this build's done. Let's take a look. So this is the most recent stuff on top of Mozilla Central that I've got built here, and we're gonna put the bookmarks menu back. We're gonna take a look. So that looks better aligned here. These might not be aligned properly. Notice how, okay, so the original bug might still exist. Let us manage bookmarks, and let's rename some of these things. Nightly resources, and create a new folder. My folder with a really, really, really long name. And if you compare this to, say, this, where like the spacing is a bit tighter, whereas here there's too much of a gap. Too much of a gap. So I think that's actually still a problem. Okay, good to know. And let's compare that to Windows 7, where yeah, the spacing looks a lot more reasonable over here. It looks very similar to what we have in the app menu. But the manage bookmarks thing's way off. So, two separate bugs, but let's see what we can do. So we actually have a patch for the Windows 10 issue. Let's see if it still applies, because I wrote it like, when did I write this thing? I wrote this patch like 2 months ago, and then there was like a break, and I went on a holiday, and there was like a whole bunch of other stuff that happened where I couldn't land this immediately. And there was like a blocking dependency that took a long time to land, but I had review for this like in May. And finally, the dependency has landed. This is closed. So I'm guessing that we're going to have to rebase this. We'll see. Let's find out. I'm going to try applying it. And I'm going to guess it's going to not apply cleanly. Let's find out. So the way you do that is with mozfab patch. And I apply that. And I say apply to here. And I want to skip the dependencies. Because unfortunately, I don't think mozfab is smart enough to realize that because this is closed, I don't want to apply it. At least last I checked, it wasn't smart enough to know that. And sometimes I get this problem where I can't. Mozfab tries to self-update and it doesn't work. Pip3 install. So I have to like do this. And now, there we go. Getting the patch, applying it, and I'm gonna guess, holy smokes, it applied. That is very unusual. I did not expect that to occur. That's weird. It looks like my original patch only only worked for Windows 7. Oh, I see. It was because the code has changed so much. Yeah, this is not a proper application of the patch. We need to find the right place to apply this. So let's see if we can find some of these other rules where they are now. I guess we can close this tab. Here's one, here's the other. Interesting. Interesting. And this was originally inside of panel UI.css, Windows customizable panel UI. So like stuff has landed in the meantime. Is there anything in here about Windows 10? Wow. All the Win 10 specific rules are gone. Very interesting. So I wonder why it's all spaced out then on Windows 10. Like if we open this up, I'm really surprised that that applied cleanly. Like that's not the correct patch. I don't know what. I would have expected Mercurial to be a little more reluctant to apply that. SmurfD says that on Linux, the same issue exists with the misalignment on the menus in the bookmarks menu. It kind of looks like the text is aligned with the text, but not with the folders. Interesting. Okay. There's probably a common root cause. But let's see if we can figure out why these icons are so far to the left. So we're gonna, I mean, what was I doing before? Class, menu right, and what are the rules on this thing? It's got a margin of 12 on the very end of it. I got a feeling that's too high. Where's that margin coming from? Margin inline end 1 EM. Yeah. So from it's coming from like the native, like this thing. This context menu, we're inheriting some of the rules. And so strangely it's putting 1 EM. 1 EM here is, I guess it makes sense. Is that am I accurate there? Let's see. Menu. It's kind of tricky with all that stuff in the way, but menu right. Margin inline end 1 EM. And that makes sense for this thing. Right, because there's not as much padding. On this one there's so much padding. In this there is no padding. So that's why it's getting pushed out, because over here there's padding in the menus. I see. Okay. So then what we need to do, I believe, is to alter that rule. This what's being overridden here? Moz non-native menus. Native. I think what I can do is update the rules here. Not yet. Okay, so panel UI.css on Windows. So we mistakenly put in this thing, margin inline end. This is not right, but it's close. Where'd my mouse go? There. Sublime, why are you hiding my mouse? Oh, it's just really hard to see. I gotcha. Cool. What I want to do is have a rule that's like this. And like that. Okay, let's build that and see what happens. Okay. Not really. Not really. That is not doing what I thought it would do. Why not? That's not what I wanted. I wanted browser toolbox. So is the rule that I just added not being applied? Let's find out. Yeah, it's still got margin inline end. The style that I added. Override the menu right margin rule. Let's see if that comments in here. Yeah, it's right here. Places toolbar menu right. What am I doing? Is that? It should be bookmarks toolbar. Oh, not quite right. Menu, menu, menu. Bookmarks pop-up. It's kind of like this, I think. Yeah. And because these things can also contain menus, we might have to do a couple. Like we might have to do here. Let's do an example. So inside here, let's create another folder. Here's yet another folder. Oh, put it inside. Here's yet another folder inside this folder. Okay, so okay, well that's applying correctly, I think. But maybe if it has a longer name. Here's yet another folder with a really, 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 really long name. Okay, that looks right. Oh, I guess yeah, because like every menu right, okay, is inheriting it. Got it. And what about the toolbar? Like we feel pretty confident here that we don't need it for the toolbar. Let's find out. Copy. Paste. Yeah, I guess we don't need it for the toolbar. All right. So I think this is what we want. I think that'll do it. It's wildly different. Like, I have no idea why, if you look at the original bug, the bookmarks toolbar menu pop-ups is what I talk about, except that over here, it's clearly... Let's reread this bug. Like, this is clearly the bookmarks menu. Menu toolbar button. Subview menu. Like, I think I just got confused. Bookmarks toolbar menu pop-ups. All right, so anyways, I'm done. I think I've got a fix here. I'm gonna rejig this commit message because it's wrong. Fix placement of chevron for bookmarks menu pop-ups. Menu bookmarks menu button menu pop-ups on Windows 10. Okay. Let's push that up. Single. And I think because it's already been reviewed and it was approved, I can just go ahead and land this. Even though I did a significant change to it, I don't think it's going to require another review. I'm happy to be wrong, but I think we can go. Yeah, it's accepted. Was there anything else in here? Panel UI, Windows, panel UI.css, non-native. No, it's just us. Okay. Native menus. Okay. Okay. Well, I feel pretty good about this. Or at least where it is in here. Yeah, seems all to be in the right place. So with that uploaded and in here, I think I'm going to go ahead and queue it for landing. So let me do that. Yeah, there were several attempts to land it and it didn't work. Now I'm going to do it again. That's okay. Okay, that was the first thing I wanted to do today. All right. Now, I wonder if we should file a bug for these Windows 7 and Linux manage bookmarks footers things. Yeah, let's see what's wrong with those. Do I have the toolbox open already? No. Menu text. Some padding left here of 30. That's not it. Padding inline start 0. Padding left 0 px. No, margin left 0 px. That's not it. In this particular case, how about the menu item itself? Layout. It's got padding some left here and a margin of left. Seriously, this thing? The padding left is not it? 0. What if I make this 0? I'm very surprised by that. Padding left 0 px. And now let's maybe close and reopen it. No. The padding left is still 30. Important. It's just not listening to me. Oh, because this is already important. Left 30 px, padding left. Why is that still padding left 30? That is bizarre. Where's that padding coming from? I mean, that's the issue. Is this padding left? All right, computed. Padding left 30. It's coming from, right? Like, I've already overridden it. I got a feeling there's just some buggy invalidation going on here. Let's see. Panel subview footer button. Let's do a quick look at this class. Margin bottom. Subview button, panel subview footer. Subview button. Panel subview footer menu text. I wonder if this rule should now be panel subview footer button. I got a sneaking suspicion that's the case. Panel UI Inc CSS. Because is panel subview footer still being used? Panel subview footer. Panel subview footer button. I actually don't think if the view is a footer set convenience class on the panel. Oh, I see. So sometimes it might. If toggle on whether or not there's a footer. Well, that's never the case because it looks like panel subview footer isn't a class that anything's using anymore. You know, I wonder if I made a mistake a little ways back where like this should all be anywhere where we're using panel subview footer, it should be panel subview footer button. Panel subview footer. Replace it with panel subview footer button. Let's see what happens when I build that and give it a test run. Hey, where'd that button go? I thought I put that menu button there. Why'd it go away? Holy smokes, this is all styled wrong. What's going wrong here? What's going on here? Oh, you know what? I think panel subview footer like is an old class that we don't want anymore. That's the situation. But also it's like this. Menu text. We're going to say padding inline start 0. And then all of the rules that use panel subview footer can probably go away. That's my guess. I think that can go away. I think this panel subview footer, menu item, I think all of that can go away. That's my guess. Which is a nice result if true. I mean, I do like it whenever we can, like, that class wasn't being used and I can excise a whole bunch of, like, dead code. That'd be great. And were there other uses of it in CSS? Panel sub view footer. Yeah, it's just in the one file. Okay. Now, I'm still seeing the problem. So what's the deal with that? Should this also be appearance none? That's the problem. Appearance none. But we also want it to have, like, we don't necessarily want the padding inline to be 0. We want it to match up here. So it needs to be appearance none, and it needs to match whatever we have up here for this guy. Padding block 0. Padding inline start is 2 pixels. Oh, that's margin inline start is 2 pixels. And padding 1 pixel. So what's the actual ultimate layout? 2. 2 on the left for margin. Plus what already probably exists. So it's like... Oh, we've got 2 on the left for margin. Padding 8, margin 8, margin 8. Are those lined up? Hang on. There's no way. Yeah, there's no way because these are lined up. So this is off by just a couple of pixels. I'm going to put a ruler out. Or a guide. Yeah. We're off just by a little bit. And why is that? How come we've got this thing which has some dimensions? This thing menu iconic subview button. Menu iconic bookmark IM subview button. Toolbar. So this thing, the text has, what does it say? Bookmark toolbar is hidden. Bookmarks toolbar. Value is bookmarks toolbar. This one also says bookmarks toolbar. That doesn't make any sense. What is it? Text content. label. Label value. Bookmarks toolbar. I guess that's, oh, that's this. Now, how about its children? The menu. How about your children? Oh, it's this, right? Of course, of course. Sorry about that. Just wasting your time. Menu item. That's this thing. Hide bookmarks toolbar. It's of type menu item iconic. So it's got an H box of menu iconic left and then the label. The label has only margin 2. Now this is not an issue on Mac OS apparently. So how are we solving this on Mac OS? Because I feel like we should just recycle the same solution. Oh, I see. It's not iconic and it's intentionally non-iconic. Like notice how the text is aligned with the icons. And over here, oops. Oh, sorry, in the Windows 7 machine, the text is aligned not to the left, but like they're vertically aligned with all of the other text. So it leaves a gap for potential icons which don't exist. And I suspect we don't want that anymore, actually. I suspect that that's wrong. Like we probably want to converge on the same style that we're using over here. So these are incorrectly styled. So the question is, how do we bring those over? So this thing, we've got a label. It's got all that padding at the start. If I say padding start inline start 0, important, that is correct. So like the actual, what I have here is correct, I think. And it's the other things that also need to do that. On Mac OS, those icons being, or like the spaces for the icons not being there, I'm very curious about what's powering that, what rules are powering that. Let's take a look. So this is menu item iconic, and this is what? Display none, because of panel UI, menu iconic left. Panel UI 2351. Where is this rule coming from? It's a Mac OS specific rule. That's why. So I actually think what we need to do here is stop making these iconic. I think that is the solution. Instead of doing like these wacky overrides, is that we get rid of the iconic class on these items, because then we will like if I remove menu item iconic, it should hide it should naturally hide the iconic part of it. So a couple things to do here then. The first thing over here is, let's find that panel UI under OS X, and this rule we can, oh, actually I think we need to keep it, because what it's saying is like collapse. If there are no icons that are defined, then collapse them, and that's fine. What I want to do is I want to change the definition of some of these items so that they don't have the iconic class in the markup. And so like view bookmarks sidebar, where's that? That is defined inside of navigator toolbox inc.xhtml. So let's go to that. Too many things in the way. Too many things in the way. Too many windows. Okay, navigator toolbox. This thing, menu item. This should stop being menu item iconic, I think. This should also stop being menu item iconic. And I do have a license. I just need to update it before you tell me to pay my share. I've got a license. And then manage bookmarks at the bottom. Here, stop being menu item iconic. And then over here in this rule, it wasn't just subview. What was it? Footer, padding inline. It's also appearance none. I think. Let's build this and take a look. Close, close. Now it's all in disagreement. Amazing. All right, well, let's find out why. So it's still got the menu item iconic here. That really should be hidden. Because this is, oh, it's, did I not build? It still thinks menu item iconic is being applied to this. Oh, I forgot to get rid of it over here. That's why. Unaligned, misaligned, wah, wah, wah. How's it look now? Well, they're lined up again, but they're still not too, they're not far enough left. What's the problem? What's your problem? It's got the menu text. Right, too much padding. Too much padding. And on Mac OS, we say padding block 0. It's padding 0. So where's this padding coming from? On is this a Windows specific rule? Padding inline start. Yeah, menu text from menu.css. Once again, it's this thing we have to like override. Subview button. I don't even think we need to do this. I think it's like this. It's even more precise. Oh, whoops. Although I think some of this, because it's so Windows specific. I wonder really why it needs to be in this shared one. But this looks better. This looks better. Get rid of our guides now. Those are lining up right. I mean, it's a little odd, like the shortcut should probably have like a different style, and this should probably be a little bit wider. It's a little too compact. So like it reads strangely, like manage bookmarks, and then like this thing. But it's better. Now this one also needs to get shoved over. Why isn't that one inheriting that rule? Oh, because it's got menu item iconic. So where is that defined in the markup? Here. Doesn't need menu item iconic anymore. And that would be the last menu item iconic in here. Amazing. All right, let's build it one more time. Take a look. And then what I might want to do is adjust some of the style for those shortcuts to match what's in the app menu. And then make sure it looks good on Windows 10 as well. And then maybe we'll call it a day. So that looks right. Okay, so where do we get those styles for the shortcut labels in the app menu? Let's find out. It's a toolbar button. It's this after rule. Panel shortcut color. Amazing. That's exactly what I wanted. So there's this subview button, Excel container, Excel text, color. That is right. It's like subtle, but it's different. Okay. So Excel color. Subview button. Menu. Excel container. I wonder actually, menu iconic Excel. Color. Panel shortcut color. May I just do that? Take advantage of what's already there. Okay. I think that's better. Let's put this as a whip patch. And then take a look at it on Windows 10 and see what we think. I don't think we actually have a bug for this yet. Let me just double check. Cleanups, bug, Proton cleanups. Menu, bookmark, menu, no. Clean up styles in bookmarks, menu, pop-up, panel, bookmarks, menu, button, menu pop-ups on Windows. 7 and 10. Let's see what Molly thinks of this stuff. But for now, there's no associated bug. Maybe we should file one. Clean up styles in the bookmarks menu button menu pop-ups on Windows 7 and 10. The bookmarks menu button menu pop-up has labels, uses labels that aren't aligned properly. They have menu item iconic. They have the menu iconic class on them, which indents them in indents the labels for icons that aren't there. They also inherit some styles from menu Windows specific styles from menu.css, which break alignment a bit. Let's see if we can post a screenshot of what it looks like when it's broken. The screenshot tries to illustrate what I'm seeing on Windows 7. Similar issues exist on Windows 10. Okay, this is a defect, and I'm going to take it, and it blocks 1698882. That's the cleanups bug. All right, so now we have a bug, and I can amend, commit amend. So I can put the bug number in the commit message, and then it will hook up correctly. Okay. And now let's take a look at what I'm posting. Panel subview footer. I also want to get rid of that code inside of panel UI. Panel subview footer. And then I guess there's a convenience class here. Does anyone use it? Subview footer? Part content. Well, yeah, I'm just gonna get rid of that. And where else? Navigator Toolbox Inc. And then where else? In Panel UI Inc. All right, let's build it. Summer cleaning, that's right. Clean up. Okay, so I've been drinking this coconut stuff the entire episode. Conclusion, it's fine. It's not amazing. It's not awful. I do actually think we wanted that padding 0 down here, but we probably wanted it we probably want to alter the rule a little bit. Panel CUI widget panel. Yeah, have I broken things here? CUI widget panel. Like if I have an overflow, that's fine. So, oh yes, sorry, the bookmarks panel was the only one that had that class. So I can be a little more specific, I think. So I can say, where is it? Bookmarks menu pop-up. BMB. Bookmarks bookmarks pop-up? Is it just bookmarks pop-up? Yeah. Bookmarks menu pop-up. Stuff like that. I think that'll work. Some of this is going to require, I think, some explanation in my commit message. But I want to test it on Windows 10 before I conclude that we're done here. No, see, that's not good enough. See that gap at the bottom? Too big. Too big. Or is it? Or is it perfect? Maybe it's perfect. It's the gap at the top that's not big enough. It's the gap at the top. And we need the, okay. That rule I added's garbage. No good. Instead, what we want to do is make sure that the bookmarks menu pop-up margin top margin inline start or something. Like, what's the layout of it? It's -8. Does it need to be -8? Margin inline. It's 20 pixels on the left and the right side. Margin top is -8 pixels. Does it need to be that? Margin top 0 pixels. And margin top 5 pixels. Okay, maybe I need to close and reopen it. Oh no, it's just pushing it down. That's what's happening. No good. Remove that rule. Okay, that's not what I wanted. It's more about the content. Part. Content. This thing. Margin top. I'll bet you is panel type. Box shadow. Let's find a different menu panel. This one. padding 8 surrounding padding and the panel subview body. Right, and then over here, panel subview body. Menu pop-up. Ah. Arrow content. That's not right. Arrow box, that's this thing. Content. Arrow scroll box. Slot. Contents. Styling these things is such a pain because this is a menu pop-up that's masquerading as a panel. That's the problem. That is the problem. So we can't just share the stuff that's over here. We have to like special case it. All right, what's this inside? This menu pop-up is inside. It's here. Contents. Slot. And the layout. Padding. 8px is not good enough for it, I guess. It doesn't like it. Display. HTML slot. The arrow scroll box. Border 1px solid red. Yeah, it doesn't work until like margin left 50 pixels. Like none of these apply. Oh. Appearance none. Important. Okay. Some of that's applying. Padding. 8 pixels. Important? Okay. Better. Margin left. Not 50. Padding block. That seems right. Padding block on the part arrow scroll box content. So it's like this. Arrow scroll box content. Called arrow scroll box part arrow scroll box. Okay, so we want padding block 8 pixels and we can get that from arrow panel border radius, as well as toolbar start end padding, inline tab padding, panel separator, subview body padding. That's what it is. Padding. Rules. 8px, 0px. Okay. Var important, because we have to override. If I get rid of the important, the padding is coming from where? Ismail. What's paddle padding? Arrow panel padding. Arrow panel padding is 4px0. Why do I want it to be 8px0? I do want it to be 8px0. I want more on the top and the bottom. Why is arrow panel padding so low? Is it because we need margin? Hang on. Hang on. What is the margin? Oh, wrong window. All right, what has the arrow panel padding? No. Can't be compared. Uncomparable. All right. I see you. I see what you're up to. I know what you're doing. Padding. And the rules coming from this thing. CUI widget panel. CUI widget panel part arrow content. Arrow panel padding is 4px0. Why? Panel menus. Oh, that was 4 years ago. That was Photon. Arrow panel padding. I actually think this needs to be 8px0. It's just never got updated. That's my guess. So I don't need this. I think this needs to be 8px0. Which I think actually what we can do instead of doing like hard coding that in is we can find, yeah, panel subview body padding 8px0. I think that's what we want to copy. Var. Okay, and then the last thing is we've got this like special margin at the bottom of this thing. Where's it coming from? Margin bottom. From panel subview footer button. I'm going to say that makes sense for non-menu pop-ups like this one, because this is using that style, right? Toolbar button, layout. Yeah, it's got that gap there, that margin bottom. Yeah, it wants that, but we don't want that over here. So I got a feeling. So view footer button. What if we just get rid of this class? Yeah, I don't even think we need that class. Hey, that looks great. Okay. Let's take a look. Let's close this. Let us build and take a look. Smurf D is testing something. Y'all are testing something in Matrix or something? Is there something going wrong with the bouncer? Are you seeing the bouncer working properly? Everything okay on the internet? No, it was Danny who was testing, so I wrote test 2. Okay, cool. Just so long as we're all aware of what's going on. Okay, I think this looks great. I'm pretty happy with it. I think we got rid of a bunch of dead code. It's 2:28. I want to get this posted for review, but I did want to test it on Windows 10 first. So I'm going to HG amend. I'm going to put it up on Fabricator as a work in progress patch and then pull it down onto my Windows 10 machine, take a quick peek at it, and if we like it, I'll put it up for review. Oh, just doing some linting. No problem. Hey, while I'm going to close out the episode in a second, but I just wanted to remind you all that in the agenda, there's this link to rate the episode. And you can put whatever you want in there. I read everything that comes in, but there's a section in there that you might find interesting, which is a section for people to ask me questions. And some people were taking advantage of it. I answered some questions, but I haven't gotten any questions in the past couple of ratings. Like, people have been giving ratings, and that's great. But if you have questions, I would love to like try and address some if I have the answers to them. Like, there are certainly going to be things I don't have the ability to answer. I just don't know. But if I have the answers, I'd love to try and answer or give my opinion on something. So yeah, fill in the form. Let me know what you want me to try and answer, and I'll do my best. Single whip. It's a whip work in progress. And if you have any questions right now, feel free to drop them in the chat, and I can try. I can give a crack, give it a crack, a fair crack, as the Irish would say. Or what's the crack? That's what they say. I don't think they say give it a crack. I think they say what's the crack. Submit to Fabricator. Yes. Just go ahead and drop those questions into the chat. I'll do my best. No obligation. If there are no questions, that's fine. You know, we don't have to. I don't want you to have to like invent questions. That's cool if you're just having a good time watching. All right, I have a question for you. So last week I had to use my headset mic. This week I'm using the condenser microphone. Does it make a difference? Is it worth me putting the effort in to use this microphone, or is the headset mic okay? Let me know. Okay, so that's been posted. Let's pull it down onto my Windows 10 machine and take a look. Scooby-Doo. Scooby-Doo. Moz. Fab Patch. I guess I don't need the whole URL. I just need this part. Apply to here. Skip dependencies. Okay, I see some chatter. I don't know, but this one's great, says Pyro240. Headset is okay, but this mic is far better. Okay, great. So I know to use this microphone. I'll keep using it. The headset mic is only okay. I'll use it only in emergencies. Yeah, this microphone, in case you're curious about it, this is a Rode NT1. I think I got it like really cheap. It was on sale. This is what I'm using. It's still pretty pricey on this website in Canadian, almost like with tax, probably like $400. But I think I got it at a disc. I think it was like in the 200s whenever I bought it because it was on sale, or there's like a we're clearing out the warehouse kind of sale. And it comes with a cradle and a pop filter, and it's pretty cool. And it doesn't. You need a USB interface in order to use it. Like it's an XLR cable, but I was able to use my old USB interface. Oh, this one looks like it comes with a USB kit, like a USB interface. Another microphone I've heard really good things about, and my partner uses one of these, is the Blue Yeti. This is a straight to USB microphone. Nice. I think a lot of like amateur podcasters use these. The Blue Yeti. If you're just trying to get started, you want a decent quality microphone. I've heard. I am not being sponsored by these microphone companies, but I can endorse them and say they are good quality. Like you get a pretty decent signal, pretty decent quality sound sample out of them. All right, let's take a look at our menu on Windows 10. Hey, that's looking way better over here. Oh, that's really weird that these bookmarks are not, these folders are not supposed to be down here. So that's a bug in my implementation. And I'm gonna have to sort that out. Is that also happening over here? If I run this? Yes, it is. So the logic of where to insert bookmark items was probably based on like the subview footer button. I'm gonna have to probably places.js footer button insertion point. So what if I give it an ID of this instead? Attach places view. Who calls this? Bookmarking UI, attach places view on the menu bookmarks menu pop-up. Okay, so only got one caller, so I don't have to worry about making this super generic. I will make this attached to bookmarks show all. Let's see if that works. And then I'm going to call it. I'm going to call it there. Hey, thank you so much for watching episode 255 of The Joy of Coding. Next week, I think I mentioned how nerdy it is that 255 is the highest numeric value. See, I fixed it. So the highest numeric value that you can represent with a single byte if you're using an unsigned byte. 8 bits. 255. That's 256 values in total. So next week, episode 256 is another nerdy number. It's how many values you can represent with a byte. Cool. I don't know what the term is for that. Like the number, is it like the capacity of a byte is 200? Like the, what do you call that? Like the maximum number of values that can be represented in that space. Is that like The entropy? That's not right. I don't know. There's a technical term. It's been a while since I've had since I studied that stuff. Oh, Pyro has a question. I have one question. How long do P2 priority bugs usually take to get fixed at Mozilla? It's a good question. I mean, P2 priority generally means we want to get to it soon. Like P1 is someone is working on it right now. P2 is when we're done working on the thing that we're working on right now, we're going to hopefully pick from our P2 bugs. They're what we're going to take from next. It's like first in line in the backlog is what P2 means. Do you have a P2 bug in particular that you're talking about, Pyro? I'll wait for Pyro to respond while I update this patch. P in so the question is, I have no idea what P2 means. Excuse me. P2 means priority 2. Priority 1 is highest priority, meaning that someone is working on it right now, and that like it is very, very important. P2 means not currently being worked on, but we want to pull from it next. We want to do it next. So I'm just very curious, Pyro. Do you have a bug? Oh, it's bug 1690978. Let's take a look. Oh, this is way outside my skill zone. Now, here's the other thing. This is a different project. This is Pontoon, which is a localization sort of. It is a platform for doing like community-driven localization of software. It's what we use to localize Firefox and some other products as well, like Thunderbird, etc. It's a very powerful piece of software, and it's run by the people, like the web tools people, like the people. There's a group of people who manage Pontoon. Yeah, that's right. It uses Fluent, and well, so we're kind of in this halfway point where a lot of the browser is using the Fluent mechanism for translation. Are we fluent yet? Like this is a measure of how many strings in our code base are using Fluent. And right now we are using just about, if I squint, that's like 50% of our strings are in Fluent and the rest are not. Most of our DTDs are gone. That's good. We have a lot of properties left. And we should probably burn that down. On startup, most of our DTDs are gone. There are only 100 left or so. So I can see us getting rid of the rest of these DTDs probably by the end of 2021, if we're lucky. And then that will probably be almost all of them out of the startup path, which is also good. And then if we have to really burn down these properties strings, and that's going to take a little while, but eventually we'll all be using Fluent, and that'll be better. Like the people who are maintaining Pontoon can like not have to worry about properties and DTDs anymore, which will probably be really helpful. Now, this particular bug, I just want to mention that I said P2 is what they'll draw from next. I thought you were talking about a Firefox desktop bug. This is a bug for a tool on a team that I'm not on, and so they might prioritize things differently. They might have a different workflow. Lots of different teams use Bugzilla in different ways. Like I also notice that there's, they've got -- set for severity, and maybe that means they're not using the severity field, or maybe they are, or maybe are they using it's hard to say. Looking at that, 3 months ago this was set as P2. It hasn't really been touched since. I'm honestly unsure what the timeline is for something like this. The other thing to mention is it looks like this is unconfirmed. Unconfirmed is a bug. Now, again, this might be different from team to team, but it means that no one has validated, like, it hasn't been reproduced yet. So let's actually, before we end this episode, let's take a quick peek at this bug for a project that I am not familiar with at all. But it looks like there's so Pontoon is like the server. It's like a web application. And there's a log that's being posted here by El Forastero 5 months ago. And they're saying, hey, when I'm syncing locales from a GitHub repo, I get an integrity error, and all the translations disappeared from the resources tab. And then Matjas Horvat says, by default, Pontoon uses the ENUS as the source locale, which looking at the logs, you've also selected as the locale to translate into. Could you please try to set up and sync a new project without ENUS? If that's indeed the problem here, we should at least fail more gracefully and eventually make it possible to translate to ENUS. And then Alpha Stero is like, what do you mean by setting up a new project without ENUS? I already had a sync project with English and Russian locales. I changed some translations and pushed them to GitHub, and then it stopped working. I pressed sync and project settings. So this actually looks like a conversation kind of got dropped. Like Alpha Stero, again, not part of this team. This is an outside perspective, but Alforastero has a question. What do you mean setting up a new project without ENUS? And like, there's a question here for Matjas, which is like, can you give me more clarification? But it's possible that Matjas did, or Matjas, I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing this person's name correctly, and I apologize. It's possible they don't realize there's a question here for them. So what I'm going to do on behalf of Alforastero is say, setting need info for Matjas on comment 2, because it sounds like Alforastero was looking for some clarification on setting up a new project without ENUS. So I say request information from, and then I will put that email address in for this user, and that puts it in their queue to answer the question. Matjas? Am I pronouncing that incorrectly? Is that you, Pyro24? Like, I have no idea. Like, this is a whole different world for me. So I apologize if I'm like overstepping my bounds and I'm mispronouncing people's names. I wrote Matjas because that's like their IRC nick. That's what they put here. Well, no, I mean, that's their nick that they've identified that they're using. Like, that's a convention. You can, like, I'm M. Conley. That's what I'm saying in here. I'm M. Conley. So some people will refer to me as M. Conley. Oh, thank you. I just got a tea delivery. Oh, it's coffee. Amazing. Thank you for that. And so sometimes you'll see that in Bugzilla where people have like brackets and then the nickname that they use, their handle. Back then it used to be like IRC nicks. These days it's matrix stuff. So don't worry about it. That's non-obvious stuff. That's like one of those weird convention things that once you learn about it, it's like, oh, okay, it makes sense. But from the outside, it's probably, yeah, it probably looked like I misspelled Matjas's name. I think that's a very clever IRC nick. And maybe a clue to how to pronounce his name, Mathjazz. Maybe that's how you're supposed to pronounce it. Unknown. All right, I'm going to end the stream there. Hey, thank you so much for, again, watching episode 255 of The Joy of Coding. Let me know what you thought. Rate the episode. There's a big old link right here. Where did we get to? I think we got to here. We got to the first one. I gave an update and we got to here, then we got distracted, but that's okay. This other stuff I'll do another time. And I will talk to you all next week. Take care. Bye-bye.
The joy of coding.
See ya.